was always like attracted, and I still got the smell in my nose. But that's over. Hey Gottfriede, in this video I'm going to share with you why I quit dairy, why I stopped eating dairy, cheese, latte macchiato. Although I was addicted to anything dairy, I'm off it 100%. Quick story, since I'm a toddler, I've been suffering with allergies, with breathing problems, with sinus congestion, with heavy asthma. My family wasn't health conscious at all. Every Saturday, what we did, my mom and I, we went out to the nearest swimming pool. It was like 15 minutes drive. And we were doing the swimming. I wasn't really into the whole being in a swimming pool and swimming, but I went along anyway because what happened afterwards was the thing why I actually went. Every Saturday we went as a reward for going swimming. We went to McDonald's. You know, Peggy chicken McNuggets, milkshake, ice cream sundae, and all of those things. I loved it. I was addicted to it. Now, why did I stop eating dairy and drinking milk and eating cheese at all? There was this one moment when everything changed for me, and that was when I was in my early 20s. I was studying medicine in university, and I was suffering from anxiety. I had massive allergies, massive seasonal allergies. Everything was swollen and itchy. I was super tired all day long from all the immune response, and I had massive brain fog, which really is not helpful if you're studying medicine. And at that point, I was so desperate that I looked outside of university and I looked for more health answers. And what I found was one book that changed everything. That really was the start of my healing journey. And that was the China Study. Thick book, not that fun to read, but I did it anyway. And just a short summary in that book, what they found out with independent studies, which are very, very rare because they have to be paid for as well and nobody pays for them. There's a correlation between countries that eat mainly dairy products, a lot of dairy products, and autoimmune diseases, allergies, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's, even cancers, food intolerances. So they found that there's a connection there. I was like, okay, well, that's weird because I never heard that before. I studied 4 years medicine. Nobody told me ever that dairy products are linked to autoimmune diseases or allergies or anything that I was suffering with. As I had tried everything else already, I was like, okay, well, I really, really, really love dairy, and I love Milky Way, and I love all the good stuff with dairy. But I was so desperate that I said, okay, we'll try it out and we'll see what happens. I gave myself 3-4 days maximum to try it out and see the effects. And you know what happened? After 2 days, for the first time in a decade or longer, I was able, after stopping dairy, I was able to breathe through my nose. I could actually, not always have my mouth open to breathe after 2 days of stopping dairy cold turkey. I'm not saying that just stopping dairy was enough to get rid of my health problems, but it was the start. And that was when I really became very conscious about, all the stuff that they tell you on the package here, all the vitamins and everything that's in there. I got really, really skeptic and learned more about myself. It wasn't easy to get off dairy at all for me because I was addicted. And if you want me to make a video about how I made that shift, how I really got off, even if it wasn't easy, then let me know in the comments below. Just type yes, video about dairy addiction. When I saw those effects from leaving out yogurt and cheese, I started digging deeper. And I was like, okay, let's learn why is it such an impact on my health and on my symptoms. And what I learned later on in my research and when I became a naturopath is that dairy is one of those food groups, unfortunately, that feeds pathogens inside our body. Feeds strep, resistant strains of strep, which I have a ton of because I have so many antibiotics that I took in the past. And also because my family is very sick. My dad unfortunately died from a brain tumor when I was 13. My mom has multiple sclerosis. My grandmother has multiple sclerosis and just died. So there's a lot of sickness inside my family. I really have to be conscious about what's happening there. And dairy, unfortunately, is one of those foods that feed pathogens in the body. This is also highly inflammatory. Often because dairy comes together with sugar, it's very hard to break it down, and it actually starts lingering there, creating mucus inside our gut, and with this inflammation also inhibits the absorption of all the good stuff that you might be doing, like barley grass juice powder, for example. Cheers. I tell you, maybe you are liking cheese, maybe you're French or Italian, or you just love cheese and yogurt and think it's good for you. It's not easy to get off it. If you want me to, I make another video on how I made that shift. Right now, when I just smell milk, I get really like, you know, it's a very different situation than when I stopped eating dairy in the beginning. I was always like attracted, and I still got the smell in my nose, but that's over.